Now, talking a little bit about morale in ancient battle, and this is some of the stuff, again, that I have been saying. Back to the book. It was customary among good troops to have a clash, but not the blind and headlong onset of the mass. The preoccupation of the rank was very great, as the behavior of Caesar troops at Pharsalus shows in their slow march. At the moment of getting close to the enemy, the dash slackened of its own accord, because the men of the first rank, of necessity and instinctively, assured themselves of the position of their supports, their neighbors in the same line, their comrades in the second, and collected themselves together in order to be more the masters of their movement and to strike and parry. So that's not an order that was given. Those guys instinctively, they're getting close to the enemy, they slow down, they check their flanks, they check that they're good to go, they check that their buddies are behind them. Now we're going to go forward. Because, and I think that's important because it says, in order to be more masters of their movements. Mm-hmm. They're slowing down so they're ready. Back to the book. There was a contact of man with man. Each took the adversary in front of him and attacked him, because by penetrating into the ranks before having struck him down, he risked being wounded in the side by losing his flank support. So these guys tried to stay in ranks, because even if I'm going against you and I chop you down, if I now step into your ranks, now I'm exposed. My flanks are exposed, so I can't do that. We got to stay online. This is something we still do in the military today. We got to stay online. Each one then hit his man with his shield, expecting to make him lose his equilibrium, and at the instant he tried to recover, himself landed the blow. The men in the second line, back of the intervals necessary for fencing in the first, were ready to protect their sides against anyone that advanced between them, and were prepared to relieve tired warriors. It was the same in the third line, and so that's what we already talked about. And by the way, this is cover and move. This is ancient cover and move. If I need some help, you're going to be right there to cover for me. If I'm fighting guy in front of me, you're covering my flanks. That's what it is. It's ancient cover and move. Back to the book. Everyone being supported on the other side, the first encounter was rarely decisive, and the fencing, the real combat at close quarters, began. So after that initial, now is where it gets gritty. If the men of the first line were wounded quickly, if the other ranks were not in a hurry to relieve or replace them, or if there was hesitation, defeat followed. This happened to the Romans in their first encounter with the Gauls. The Gaul, with his shield, parried the first thrust, brought his big iron sword swooping down with fury upon the top of the Roman shield, split it, and went after the man. So the Gauls had some big swords, big guys, and they figured out a little tactic, technique, and procedure. Oh, you got that little round shield? Cool. I'm going to hack it right in half. And that's what they did. The Romans, already hesitating before the moral impulse of the Gauls, their ferocious yells. So this is the Gauls. Their ferocious yells, their nudeness, an indication of a contempt for wounds. So the guy that you're fighting is naked or like not wearing armor, which says, oh, I'm ready to bring it. Like, you want to beat me in a street fight? Be naked. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not happening. Fell then in greater number than their adversaries, and demoralization followed. Soon they accustomed themselves to this valorous but not tenacious spirit of their enemies. And this is pretty cool. Back to the book. When they had protected the tops of their shields with an iron band, they no longer fell, and the roles were changed. So they made a little adaptation. Oh, you're going to hack the top of our shields? Cool. Put an iron band in there. What do you got now, Gaul? Bring it.